This is part 2 of lesson 9.3, multiplying polynomials. We looked at how to multiply a binomial by a binomial last time. We did distributive property and FOILing. Today we're going to look at multiplying a binomial with 2 terms and a trinomial with 3 terms. There's 2 different methods. The first method is the vertical method, meaning you're going to multiply up and down. Same way you would if it was a 3-digit number by a 2-digit number. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I did, lined them up vertically with the trinomial on top, binomial on the bottom. So I'm going to go through and multiply this. 3 times 7, 21. And I put positive 21 to remember that it's positive. Now I did 3 times 7. Now I move to my next term in the trinomial. Negative 2x times 7. That's negative 14x. Now I'm going to do 3x squared times positive 7, which is positive 21x squared. And I did write that positive there just so I remember it's positive. Now I multiplied everything in the trinomial by 7. Now I'm going to multiply everything in the trinomial by the 2x. 3 times 2x is 6x. Now I'm going to line this up by its like term. So 3 times 2x is positive 6x. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x squared. Notice how I brought that negative down. 3x squared times 2x is positive 6x to the third. The nice thing about this method is that now when you go to add these up, all your like terms are already lined up for you. So I just drop down positive 21, negative 14x plus 6x ends up being negative 8x. 21x squared minus 4x squared is positive 17x squared. And then over here I just drop the 6x to the third. And at that point you can drop the addition sign. So there's my answer when I multiply my trinomial by my binomial. And that's the vertical method. Now, I rarely use this method. To do this, I usually use the horizontal method, which is, you can use this method, go right ahead, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the next method, which is really just using distribution. So notice what I've done here is it's the exact same trinomial and binomial, but I've lined them up horizontally. And you're going to notice I flipped the order, which I can do, because I'm multiplying and the commutative property says I can do that. So what I'm going to do here is multiply that 2x plus 7, and I'm going to use distribution here. And the reason why I flipped it is because now I only have to distribute 2 terms instead of distributing 3 terms. So first I'm going to distribute the 2x to the 3x squared, then I'm going to do the 2x to the negative 2x, then I'm going to do the 2 times the 3. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the same thing with the 7. I'm going to do 7 times 3x squared, then 7 times negative 2x, then 7 times 3. So this is how it's going to look. I'm going to follow each of my arcs. So the red first started with a 2x times the 3x squared. Well, that gives me 6x squared. 2x times negative 2x, negative 4x squared. And 2x times 3 is positive 6x. So I've done all the distributing of the 2x. All my red arcs are accounted for. Now I'm going to come and do the blue. So 7 times 3x squared is positive 21x squared. 7 times negative 2x is negative 14x. 7 times 3, positive 21. Now, the downside to this one is my like terms aren't added up, so I kind of have to go hunting for them. Oh, you know what? I see when I did 2x times 3x squared, I don't know if I said this or not, but that should have been 6x to the third, because x times x squared is x to the third. Okay, so 6x to the third is my only x to the third, so I just drop it down. Now I'm looking for my x squared, so I see a negative 4x squared and a positive 21x squared, so that's where my positive 17x squared comes from. Positive 6x minus 14x squared ends up being negative 8x, and then I've got just my constant 21 right here. And you can see the 2 answers match up. They're the exact same thing, just a different method. So again, be careful, and again, I don't know if I said it right and just wrote it incorrectly, but the 2x times the 3x squared was 6x to the third, because that's really x to the first power. 1 plus 2 gives us x to the third. So I would like you to try this one. Go ahead and copy this down. Try this one using the horizontal method, and then pause your video, and when you're done, go ahead and start it back up. Okay, welcome back. Now this one you didn't have to rewrite because the binomial already came first. So we're going to start by doing 6n times 2n squared, then 6n times n, and 6n times 7. So 6n times 2n squared, you should have gotten 12n to the third. 6n times n is positive 6n squared. 6n times 7, positive 42n. But we're not done, because now we have to distribute that negative 8 to my trinomial. So now we've got negative 8 times 2n squared is negative 16n squared. Negative 8 times n is negative 8n. Negative 8 times 7 is negative 56. Now I'm going to go ahead, this is my only n to the third power, so I can just drop that. Now I add these like terms, 6n squared, negative 16n squared, negative 10n squared. 42n minus 8n ends up being positive 34n, and then I've just got my constant of negative 56. So hopefully you got that. Go ahead and rewatch any parts of this video that you need. Thank you very much for watching.